All right, you're asking for it, so here it is. Listen to this.
I want you fucks laughing at. We partners pod, kid. You understand? We in here drinking, singing, swinging, all that shit, dog. We sweating, getting wet, all that.
Welcome to the 148th episode of the Drinking Partners Podcast. Yes, this is our Jimmy Johnson episode because he be winning a lot and we be winning a lot too. Like, at least it definitely feels like it today.
Yeah.
Today goes in the victory column.
Back to back.
I am half of your hosting tandem, Ed Bailey. I'm joined as always with my co-host, Dave Bracey. Say what up to the people.
What's good with you people? We are the Drinking Partners, and if you're looking for us, you can find us on epiccastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, and Google Play under Drinking Partners. You can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnersPod. 148 episodes, man. We've been asking y'all. We're going to continue to ask you, man. Please hop on iTunes, rate and review. That's how we know we're doing well. That's how we let others know that we're doing well. And that's how we continue to do well. So please hop on iTunes, rate and review.
Listen, you love us. When you see us in public, you tell us you love us. Now, at the click of a button, please tell the internet. And as always, in lieu of rates and reviews, we do take shots at Henny. Shout out to Car Guy DJ and the Conways for setting the trend. We don't say it, man. Y'all be bringing us Henny. But if you do leave a review, you get read on the podcast here. Yeah. Much like this one called TRVE Show by Green Cell. So I don't know TRV. I don't know what it means. Trav, typo. I don't know what the fuck that is. But it says entertaining and informative about what is happening around the burg and craft beer in general. And that's what we try to do.
Nice.
Try to bring some light to what's going on. The small business, the beer out here. It's a good thing, man. Shout out to Green Cell.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's up. You know, short and sweet. It ain't got to be long. It ain't got to be a whole, like, love note, you know? Just a quick little check-in. Hey, keep it going.
Tell us what you like and don't like about us.
Yeah.
Yeah, believe them rates and reviews, man.
True.
Got some good shit coming up, though.
New Year's Eve down at the Biome. We will be down there. I'll be hosting the first night, the New Year's celebration downtown, High Mark. We'll have John Evans headlining that, one of the best comics in the city. And we'll have Wally Barham, a young woman out of New York City, very talented, standing ovation at the Pittsburgh Comedy Festival. So we're excited to have her back. And, I'll be hosting that in 4 shows. If you're looking for tickets, first night, pgh.com.
Yeah, man, it's a good time too. I was lucky to be a part of that last year. It's gonna be dope this year. We got to shout out Farm to Table because they've been doing a lot, man, doing big things.
Yeah, truth. Check out Farm to Table, the local food guide on farmtotablepa.com to find local healthy food sources. Because, I mean, you want to eat healthy, you want to meal prep and do all of these things and whatnot. You also want to make sure that, you're not killing the environment at the same time, on this website as well, like you can get educated on how to, eat healthier, eat locally and do it at an affordable rate. I mean, like everybody on a budget. I mean, like everybody want to do a little better, but how do we do that? So you get those resources, at Farm to Table. So, check them out at farmtotablepa.com.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a really, really good thing that's going on, man. And I just want to let you know, people, as far as information, this is episode 2 of 2. So y'all got to stick with us because you know how it is on episode 2 of 2. And then episode 1, we had Pittsburgh Normal, who got me feeling abnormal right now.
The Nightingales came through and lights out.
No, we got the lights on in the building. We're still working, man. We're still working. And then this episode is going to shape up to be a doozy because I'm excited about who we have, the guests we have in the building, man.
Man.
And he didn't come to play.
Nah, they came prepared. This is slightly intimidating. Like, I gotta, y'all just took over the whole table. This isn't even
they
our
got beer,
podcast anymore.
Artwork, swag, all types of shit just happening on that side of the table. We have Mark Pavlik and Mark Brewer of 4 Seasons Brewing Company in the building. Say what up to the people.
How you doing? What's up?
Mike and Mike.
Mark and Mark.
Mark and Mark.
Now we got, you know what I'm saying? XM has a craft station now, like a craft radio show, Mark and Mark.
Mark and Mark.
You could talk about the brewing aspect and you could talk about, hey, how do we make this shit something you want to drink just by looking at it? Like, that's dope.
Yeah. So tell us about your brewery.
Yeah, so we've been open for about 5 years now, and we're out in Latrobe, so about an hour east of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And we got a pub there. We have 16 taps, so got plenty to offer. We try and keep a good variety on, and then we also distribute into the city as well.
Nice. So what got you into this whole thing? Like, when you were like, yeah, I'm a brew.
Yeah, I started as a home brewer, so just like a lot of the other Pittsburgh breweries, and I did it for probably about 6 or 7 years, and one day just wanted to take the leap. So,
were you a part of any of the associations around here, like with the homebrew and the homebrew associations, or you was just doing it just on your own?
Yeah, I was just doing it on my own in my garage.
Thugging it from the mud with it. That's good. Like what got you? So what was your first craft that you tried? Like you remember trying, like your first craft?
Actually, what got me onto it was there was a train station in Greensburg, Red Star, and it was a brewery as well, and that's kind of got what me turned on.
Yeah. So what is Four Seasons? Why is it called Four Seasons?
That's Western PA. Sometimes you get all 4 seasons in one day.
Yeah. It's that Midwest.
Yeah, that's true to life, man. That's crazy. So I guess we can, bust open the first, beer that you brought here, because you brought a nice variety. And like I'm looking at these tap handles, and they're insane, because like there's a nice variety on these tap handles, and it's a little bit for everybody. You know what I mean? A little bit of something for everybody, with the double IPA and the oatmeal stout, the Kolsch for like, you just want a lighter beer or whatever, and then like the Belgian style, like, it's a little something for everybody's palate that can come in and find something that they like.
Oh, this is that day. This episode is going to be that day. We're getting that day this episode. We're going to talk about palates and things. No, but now, Mark Brewer, you are not the brewer. You actually do the graphics for the tap handles and things like that. Like, does he bring a beer to you and you just think of something like based off the style, or how do you go with designing the tap handle?
There's a little bit of both. Some of them already had names, so we created pictures. Thanks, man. We created pictures for those, and then some of them don't have names, and we're just we're probably a year into this. We're kind of figuring it out as we go. I think sometimes we'll kind of create the name together to help the image look a little, make it a little bit easier to draw. So we'll see how that all works out. What beer are we drinking right now?
This one's a nebulous IPA, so
it's really nice.
Wait, is this? Are you saying this was nebulized? Yeah, this whole discussion on nebulization last episode.
Truth, is this a glitch in the Matrix? Like, we just had this conversation. Yeah, no, this is juicy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so it's hopped with Amarillo, Citra, Mosaic. So tons of dry hops, and it's a popular one for us.
Is this harder or easier, like on the scale of brewing beers to brew, like, on difficulty?
You know what? I wouldn't say there's an easier or a harder beer to brew. So I would say lagers are probably the hardest ones to do, like a light lager. So there's not a lot going on in it, so any flaws will show up pretty fast.
Like, what was like the first beer that you brewed? Or, what's the first beer that you brewed? And then what was the first good beer that you brewed?
I don't even know what the first one was. Probably something hoppy. I like hops. So that's kind of what I tend to gravitate to. So it was probably something along those lines. And I'd say that's probably about 3/4 of what I brew now. Okay. Something hoppy. So, I mean, we got some dark beers on, and we do some seasonals as well. But I'd say like 3/4 of our portfolio are hop forward.
Hop forward. So, I mean, did you come into it hoppy, or like
as a home brewer?
Yeah. From day one, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
True to himself. Now he's got his own business.
Yeah.
This is good. Like, I feel like even if I was coming into craft, that would be cool, comfortable. The hops aren't overbearing. Like, you can taste them, but it's not overbearing.
It's very low bitter.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, people said IPAs, and then everybody thought, super bitter bombs, and kind of maybe shied some people away. But, there's this new style of IPAs out. Some of them call them New England style, but it's the juicier, less bitter bitter IPAs, and I think it's really doing well.
Yeah, so I mean, like I remember reading the brewer over in was it Brooklyn, was saying like they're Instagram beers and they have a bad shelf life and like they're just a fad and they're gonna like go, shortly. Like, do you think it's a fad?
I mean, I don't know if I necessarily want to use the term fad. I don't think it's going to go away, but there will be the next type of beer that's going to take off at some point, whenever that is, and it'll just kind of keep progressing. So that's at least my opinion.
I agree with that as well.
So what, Mark? Well, Brewer, I don't even.
I know.
How do you want me to dress? Like
whatever's easiest for you.
MB on do initials. Like, so Mark,
right.
like,
Brewer.
When did you get introduced to craft? Like, what's your favorite
Craft.
type, or how did you get into the craft game?
A long time ago, when Sam Adams was the fancy beer. Yeah, and not so much anymore. That was many years ago. And
The cherry wheat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Even before the cherry wheat. I don't want to date myself here, but yeah, that, and Sierra Nevada was out then, and that was about the only choices for craft beer you had.
That was my first. It was a Sierra Nevada.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, probably a lot of people's. And it was kind of fun to watch it grow. I homebrewed for a little while and never really made anything really, really good. Most of the time, people had to run to the bathroom after they drank my beer.
What were some of the first type of beers that you made?
Oh, not stouts or porters. I'm sure they're like pilsners or something like that. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. But yeah, that's when I first got into it. And I've always just drank good beer for the most part. I mean, not that I didn't go through a period or two where I drank PBRs or.
Oh man, I'll still
whatever, but-
I mean, if I'm in the right spot, especially in a different city and I'm in Hipsterville, man, I'll
Yeah.
pound a PBR.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
mean,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I will as well.
Yeah. So I just kind of followed it all along, and it's awesome to see craft beer. Knew what it was back then, and then to see where it is now. It's like that's just awesome, And yeah, I think it'll taper off. Everything that's happening now, it's so new, and people are just introduced to new beers all the time and learning more about it. And as people learn more about it, I think that'll help the industry just make itself a little more, it'll be permanent. It's not going anywhere, and knowledge will help that, because as people learn more about beer, I think they'll continue to buy it. I mean, what's really awesome is there's so many breweries too in the area that I wonder how bars in general have done. I don't know. I haven't asked anybody, but because when you want to go out drinking, heck, you can go to your, exactly where to go. What brewery, where you want to drink, get something to eat, and it's like you're there. So I think there's, think of that they're going to be around for a while, and what's awesome is they're, the quality of the beer is just getting better, because you can't get by anymore. Too many people know what they're
it's right
drinking
down the street.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta stay
right.
You gotta stay sharp.
Right on. Right, exactly. So that's kind of exciting that craft beer drinkers have that to look forward to.
So what is the creative process like? How do you introduce a new beer? What's the genesis of that? Like, what's the like, how does that come about?
I think it starts with Mark. He decides what he's got the infancy is like he starts whatever he feels like brewing. And then kind of gives me, pretty much full reign to come up with what I want to come up with. And, he has a lot of input, and we kind of go back and forth. And, like I said, we're still figuring. It's relatively new, but, we're getting into some drawings now. And I think that we'll probably, name some of the things together to help the drawing, go with the name. And, but that's kind of the process, from, I think it starts there, and then we can take it from there,
As far as the beers, the ideas kind of come from all over the place, whether it's something I tried, something I read about in a magazine, something that somebody at the brewery came up with, it comes from all over.
So at what point did you feel like you were brewing good enough beer to like dive in? Like, this is just something that you were just like, yo, a lot of people are like saying, yo, this is really good? Or was it like, what, this is just what I want to do? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm good at it. It's just what I want to do.
Yeah, like who's drinking your beer?
Yeah, I mean, it was mostly like, say, family and friends. And You know, that kind of like what you said, it's something I just wanted to do.
Right.
You know, yeah, like I thought my beer was pretty good. You know, yeah, there was better, but it was something I was determined to do and something that I just had a drive for, and I was gonna figure it out one way or another.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, to be able to sell your creation and also enjoy it, like, that's not a bad career to have.
That's a pretty good gig.
Yeah, and you partner up with a guy with the same name. Like, yo, we're gonna roll out this new beer. I got an idea on what I want you to do. Or he's got an idea. Like, that's with the visual, art. How often do you work with someone? Do you do graphics outside of this? Or?
Yeah.
All right. So how often do you work with someone on exactly what they want the vision to be, or do you always just present something to them like, here's what you told me, here's what I think it should look like, or people telling you, oh, I want it to be this?
Yeah. No, I've been in the business for over 20 years and had the good fortune of doing a lot of illustration work, illustrating articles for Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Forbes, and Newsweek magazine, and so I'm still working with art directors all the time. Typically, they give me an article, and I'll do a sketch or two, and send it to them. And they come back and they say, we like number 2, but can you please add a dog or something like that. Or sometimes they just say, we would like the second sketch, and you go with it, and you have to meet the deadline, and yeah, that's pretty much. This is the same kind of thing. This is a little more. I think doing the labels for the brewery are a little more fun because it's there's not a whole lot of control. It's a lot of it's just I kind of have free reign. You don't necessarily have free reign when you're working for a magazine, especially newspapers. If they're if they lean left or right, you have to sort of cater to that. So this is nice. This is kind of refreshing to do this. So yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah, no, I mean the industry in general seems to be, pretty laid back and creative. I mean, we talk about it on the podcast all the time. It's very, it's a nice combination between science and art, in brewing. So like the art community, does go hand in hand, with the brewing community. What do you get involved with any other of the arts? There's Four Seasons, and any other bands or any events? Yeah.
So like I said, we have a pub, and we usually have a band every Saturday. Mm-hmm. So 8 to 11 p.m. and it's mostly local music. And so
there's a lot of dope ass talent in Western Pennsylvania. Like, I mean, we've been working with them, with this podcast, and then beyond that for years. And there's so much talent,
There really is. Those bands too at the pub are fantastic, and ones I've heard, they're awesome.
Yeah, and since I started booking, even more have started reaching out, trying to book gigs and stuff. And I've found bands that I never even knew existed, just based off of that.
So let's get into the next selection.
Now, see, I was trying to hold up because I was going to say, Dave, you over there babysitting? It's that side of the table. Me and Pavlik, we was ready to go. And then Brewer and Bracy, Brewer and Bracy was taking up. We were sitting there like, what's up, man? What y'all going to do?
Yeah.
They tried to jump in like he been finished. Like, let's get to the next. You just finished. So what are we serving up here?
So this is another IPA. We have we call it a R&D, research and development series, and it's kind of like one-offs, test batches, and this was one of them, and it was number 18. So that's kind of stuck with it, and we just call it number 18 now.
That's dope.
When did you begin doing the test batches? Because we saw. It seems like it makes a lot of sense to do small batches, test batches while you got your flagships. It's good.
Yeah, it's like straight juice.
But yeah, how many of these test batch beers that you have end up, going on tap?
Some of them, not all of them. Some of them are one and done. Some I maybe will change something up on the next batch, and it'll kind of keep evolving until. It either people like it enough or they want it, more often, and then we'll kick it off and make it its own brand.
Now, what is this? What's the name of this, or is this not named yet?
It's called
Number
18.
Yeah,
Number 18?
Yeah, I like this number 18. Like, yeah, it's juice. It's like a Capri Sun. What is in this? What hops are you using?
Capri Sun, actually.
Yeah, this one,
Yeah, what hop is this?
this one's a blend. It's Centennial, Cascade, and Simcoe.
Very well done.
Yeah, it's very good.
So this was number 18 of how many?
That was probably maybe like the 18th R&D of IPAs. So I'm not really sure what number we're up to.
So what? What number was this one?
I wonder what 17 was like.
Yeah, well, yeah, like I feel, like he almost made it. Like, you know what I mean? That'd be tough.
just-
Like if
yeah.
I was number 10, I never had a chance. But like to be number 17 and then just
You almost had me, man.
Yeah, we just don't talk about number 17.
Now, where'd you grow up?
In Latrobe, yeah.
Okay, now is there another brewery out there, or like what was the local spot that you started going to before you decided to build your own?
Like I said, there was the brewery in Greensburg that kind of really turned me on to craft beer. And now that's there's a brewery in Greensburg, All Saints. There's a couple out that way, Helltown, but most of the rest of them are getting closer to Pittsburgh.
it's starting to be like a nice little like trail that you can run along there. We're looking to run that trail here in the spring.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
That'd be very nice.
because you got Full Pint and then Fury, and you go up. Helltown's up there.
Yellow Bridge is up there.
Yeah,
Right.
Spoonwood.
That's back here.
No, that's bad. Yeah. Okay.
You're 20 miles away.
People bad directions.
And that's number 18.
So what changes have you seen in the craft industry since you've like been a part of it? Like as far as trends or whatever.
Just the growth is just off the charts. It's just overwhelming sometimes. You look and there's it seems like there's another brewery open up every other month and stuff, and people are embracing it, and they're supporting it. So that's awesome to see.
Why do you believe they support it?
I think not just with beer, but everybody's going back to local everything, local food, farm to table. I think beer kind of is rolled into that as well, and people just want local things, and it's supporting your community and businesses in your community.
Circulating that dollar.
Yeah, and nationwide, we're seeing people paying more attention to what they're eating and wanting to eat more local, healthy, organic stuff. And I think breweries come right in on that. There's no Tetra hops or anything happening in these breweries. These are good, solid ingredients. So,
Either you guys like with your ingredients and whatnot, you got like local sources, or how do you guys?
We have done some local sourced grain. So there's one out towards Philly that we've used a couple times, and there's more and more coming out. So they were kind of like a premium price for their ingredients, but now there's getting to be some more competition and it's starting to come down. So
Yeah, it's affordable.
and it's starting to become more readily available. So it's hard though. There's those big grain companies out there. It's hard to compete with them. So
How has the community reacted to breweries, your brewery when you open? You know what I mean? Like how, because like some, depending upon the area, people might be hostile. Like you got liquor control might be, you know what I mean? Like there's so many different elements, so many different stories of people just like struggling to get open, and once they're open it might be this or that, and then you've got some that they open up and everybody is just super excited about it, and so like what was your community's
yeah, we didn't have any issues whatsoever. Everybody's been super supportive. So Latrobe was formerly made rolling.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
they've kind of always been a beer town, and then they they bale chip, and I don't know. I'm not saying I moved into that, but it's always been about beer in that town,
so
and now it's kind of and it kind of just
I
worked
mean, I'm up in
out.
Beaver. It's a dry town, so they're pitchforks and shit.
I just don't understand how you survive. Like how is this possible?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like they don't want Brewer out there, and they actually show up to town hall meetings and let everybody know that they don't want Brew there. It's a very weird thing to see in like 2017. Like, no, this is the devil's liquor. Like, yeah.
So how does it feel supplying like where you came up? Now you the connect. Like you grew up in a beer town. Now you're the beer connect.
Yeah, I mean it's nice, and the brewery's still open. They do a lot of contract brewing now, but a lot of their employees come over after work to my brewery to drink. So
you get any like your old teachers coming in like that was Miss Farley from my math teacher, third grade.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a small area.
You said I wasn't gonna be nothing. You were my building. I know math. I can brew. So what do we have here? What do we have? This one you just teed up for us.
Yeah, so this is the coffee porter.
This is awesome. This is one of my favorites.
That aroma hits you as you tip your glass.
It's beautiful, and a little bit on the back end too. It's wonderful.
So it's it's a basic porter, and then I cold brew coffee into the beer on the cold side.
So it doesn't have that like bitterness in the back end.
Yeah.
Oh, that is delicious.
You may have this might be the best coffee I've had.
Yeah, this is delicious.
Like it is coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's beer.
Yeah, and like I said, it doesn't have that bitterness that, you know what I mean? Like,
this is coffee out of that white mug.
You know,
Your grandma used to sit on the saucer while she made breakfast. This is that coffee.
you know what's crazy? I had like one of the first cold press brewed beers or whatever that I had was from Marcus. From Mindful Brewer. So Mark. This is delicious though, man. This is like
Thanks.
Are you a coffee drinker?
Yeah, for sure.
See, I don't even drink coffee, but I can appreciate this.
wow.
Yeah, I like coffee a lot too. So
So you just coffee and brew all day.
yep.
It's a tough life, but somebody's got to do it
Somebody-
for the rest of us.
What's your brand? What's your coffee brand?
Coffee brand. So I actually get it from a local roaster in Ligonier, and
Makes sense. Obviously local.
Yeah, and then he delivers it to my door, and yeah.
My fiance is always telling me that Sunoco has the best coffee. And
Sunoco?
Like, Sunoco. She swears
Yeah.
by it.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't wanna hear
yeah,
that.
I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just see her walking around the car. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm not buying it.
Is
But
she a
I
coffee
mean,
newbie? Or?
she is a coffee newbie.
Well, there you go.
She
There's
is a
the answer,
coffee
folks.
newbie.
There it is, right there.
Okay.
I mean,
You didn't even have to put her out there. did you?
but she actually drinks way many more like different types because she like she shops. She's out there, you know what I mean, and she'll have like different bags of this and that. So I mean, she probably has a much in this short period of time. She's probably had like 50 different types of coffee or something like that. I may have had like 12 in my life. I don't know.
12. I've had maybe 2.
Maxwell House and Hills Brothers.
I don't know which ones, but I've tried it in 2 different places.
That gas station.
Never ever got coffee from a gas station. They just don't seem like they clean out their pots. Like, nah, man.
Waffle House.
They washed the coffee pot in the bathroom. I'm not fucking with that. I'm cool.
Hills.
Sunoco don't even got the best gas. How do they have the best? I had the best coffee.
You know what? Maybe they make up in other ways. That's how they get you in. They get you hooked. Like,
have you had this with breakfast yet?
Yes.
Yeah. Is this like a St. Patty's Day? I feel like that would be, coffee and eggs.
It's a mint. Do you do a mint beer?
No, I haven't. But this one's
mint beer.
Mint beer.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, they make mint beers.
Oh, there's some out there. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yep.
I think people have made just about any beer by now.
So, yeah.
I don't know how I feel about a mint beer. I don't feel like I'm drinking Listerine.
Yeah,
Not too much.
I don't like the,
Just
I
a
don't
little
like,
bit.
I don't like that coolness. It's like they got those Gatorade Frost or whatever. It just feels like it just, I don't know, like does that ice feel like, I'm like, no. Like I want to chew some gum to get it in and out, but like, it's a little weird. Like the mint julep type shits and shit, them is weird. Like, I don't want it to be winter in my throat. Like, it's not.
Winter is coming.
Yeah.
I don't know. Second episode. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, no, this is an amazing brew.
This is
what is the bottle?
Yeah, so we got 2 bottles here. They're both barrel-aged beers. We got a Russian Imperial Stout, and then I have a Belgian Triple with some Brettanomyces.
So how did you come up with this drawing for that bottle?
Catherine or Triple?
Catherine, yeah.
Catherine. That is a good question. It's hard to describe. Hard to describe how I kind of came up with that. It was just, I guess I, just thought of, started with Russia and thinking of the Russian Imperial Stouts and what might go with that. And I thought maybe Catherine the Great would go really well on the beer bottle. She was the one who is really responsible for Russian Imperial Stouts being what they are today, because she's insisted Russian Imperial Stouts be around when she held the throne.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Her name was Catherine the Great.
I did not know that about
So
Catherine
this
the Great.
is that Watch the Throne. We about to have some of that Watch the Throne. So is this one of the beers where the name came after the drawing, or does someone have fond memories of a Catherine?
So
it's like, I'm gonna name a beer. That Catherine. There's a Catherine walking around Latrobe, flattered as hell.
Yeah.
It's just wild.
He put my name on it. If you like it, then you should have put my name on it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is one of those that Mark had been brewing Russian Imperials for, I guess, a while, and they're really good. And anybody who knows what a Russian is supposed to be, it's a great example of that. And just trying to come up with something, rather than Russian Imperial Stout, trying to come up with something, a name that people could hold on to, so something that we created together, and this is what we did. The back. So the art on this is interesting because I usually do the whole label. Like when you see these labels, it's usually a whole drawing. This one in particular, I drew Catherine. And just Catherine, and I have that piece here, and the back, in back of Catherine is actually just a swatch of a Leonardo da Vinci painting, blown up, and just wanted to give it, a real classic look,
It's almost like a portrait.
Right, exactly, yeah, and it's a lot of my work is. I tried to bring together, marry the serious content and humorous content. So you see the background and the way I've laid over sort of this graph. It looks like it's cracking, and that kind of gives it an old look. So and I think it goes with the beer really well. I think the beer is just classic. I love Russian Imperials to begin with, but I think I like this particular label with this beer. I think it's Catherine's kind of a classy, Russian Imperial Stout, and that's how I feel about the beer too. So
what are some of your influences, like just in your artistry?
Yeah, there's so many. Shill Silverstein, Jim Henson, and probably after that, Ronald Searle, and a little bit of George Booth and Ralph Steadman. And there are probably a lot of other people, but those are the ones that I think I kind of hold on to. And, and for, years and years when I was younger, I looked at books and, trying to figure out how they created it. And at some point, you just put the books down and you just start doing your own thing. There's not enough time to look because you're busy working. So it's still really pretty special. And I see Where the Sidewalk Ends book on a bookstore, in a bookstore or something like that, or in somebody's house. It's like, he's a huge influence. So.
Yeah, no, he's an amazing poet.
Oh man, he wrote A Boy Named Sue for Johnny Cash.
Really?
Yeah, he did. That's his song, and he wrote some plays. And did some amazing.
I love A Boy Named
drawings.
Sue.
Yeah,
I love Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
like,
think I gotta pause that. I don't.
that was a proper pause.
All right, that's up there.
But Johnny Cash, yeah, no, I mean he's a beast, and like Shel Silverstein, I mean like those books, and like Dr. Seuss, like those, they were like they wrote for children, but there were real life stories in those words. You know what I mean, and like those were stories that you can read as an adult and still learn from.
Right.
I mean, like the basics. It's never it's never too late to maybe check in with the basics sometimes.
So
exactly. Yeah.
So what number is Catherine? Like of the Russian Imperial Stouts, what number is she? Like 17? Is she 6?
Oh, so I mean, we probably brew about 2 batches a year. So we've been able about 10th batch, I'd say.
Okay.
So and we brew it and then we age half of it in bourbon barrels and the other half we just sell as non-barrel aged. So this is the barrel aged version. So yeah.
How long do you age?
So we age them about 10 months.
Okay. Almost a year.
They're fantastic.
Super excited.
Yeah, wait till you try it.
It sounds jovial.
I sound very, I am excited.
Like what? I don't even know what. In what scenarios? Because
appropriate.
We don't happens in your life where you go,
Somebody brought me an imperial stout aged in barrels.
Somebody showed up with Catherine.
It's about.
And her name is Catherine.
She's
gorgeous.
Yeah, if you're listening, Cat.
These young boys ain't gonna date no Catherines. There are no new Catherines.
She's too classy for them.
Catherines are all aged.
That is nice. Yeah, I know a dark cat.
All right, Catherine's sitting on the table. I think. We waiting for Day.
Oh, am I the last again?
Yeah, you're last. I'm on point today, man. It's 2 or 2. We trying to. I don't know. Day's trying to be responsible and ask questions. Oh yeah. I need a fur coat for this. I feel kingly. I feel king. I need this in an elephant tusk with a big ass, something like King Joffrey. I need a big lion
just biting itself. Like,
it just had the prettiest eyes. That fucking lion. Then the eyes was shining. I was like, damn, I need a fucking lion scarf. I'm surprised none of these young rappers have tried to like do a lion scarf. Like, do a King Joffrey Joe Fur album cover. I thought Wiz was damn near there when he did that ONIFC, and he was wearing
he did have that big like. What animal was on his shoulders?
He was on drugs. That's all I know. Animal was on him, but he was on drugs. He sat in the room with that shit on. I don't know what he was thinking.
Got cool pants.
These expensive. He probably had on loafers with no socks. He's rapping.
Cool pants.
You stick your nose in that glass,
Yeah,
you
that
smell
smells delicious.
Smell that wood from the barrel, and that there's a really dark tan head on this. That's like stays through the end of the beer. It's really nice. Very well done.
You pull this out when you're trying to close a deal. Somebody comes trying to close the deal. You swirl in the cup.
Yeah, that is nice,
isn't it?
Where do you get your barrels?
So there's I get them from a barrel broker, but I've been trying to get Woodford Reserve barrels.
What kind of what kind of like wood is that?
That would be oak.
Yeah.
And they're charred on the inside from the spirits. So I usually get them. They're dumped at the distillery and then try and get them from there.
Yeah. Yeah, them hot ones.
They're barrel brokers. This is someone who I just sell barrels.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a job. You can make money doing everything.
Yo,
There's a business in that.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I just realized because like up in Beaver, they just hauled off this mountain for this cracker plant, and like they literally moved an entire fucking mountain, like with these huge ass trucks, like day in, day out, like night after night, like 24 hours a day, was just like moving dirt for months, and a whole mountain disappeared. And I'm like, where the fuck are they putting this fucking dirt at? Like, yeah, I mean, they just moved. Like, where are you putting like all this land? Like, what do I mean, landfills or whatever? Like, that's got that space. Like, where are you putting it? And then, my boy Chris, we were having a conversation. He said there was a stadium and there was like a valley, and they needed to like extend. So then they just filled it in with dirt. So like, yeah, I mean, they just filled in the valley and extend that or whatever, and then boom. So like, there's there's that dirt from there that's going in there. So there's clearly somebody out here dealing in dirt.
Yeah,
like, there's a dirt mover. Like, I mean, that's all. He's in a dirty business. Yeah, I mean, that's literally he just deals it like with how many pounds. Like,
yeah, you can say it. Like,
how many acres of land is you talking about? Like,
we got that fertilized. That's crazy. Like, I wonder what the entry to the barrel broking business is. Like, you're like, all right, I got my first 10,000. I'm about 4 barrels.
What is it in dirt? Like, look, man, I'll shovel all your shit in the back. Are you trying to put a pool in? I'll just take that. You'll need this dirt.
The dude out there with 1 barrel, just on the highway with the barrel. It's in plexiglass. Like, yo, got a nice barrel. Barrel for sale.
True.
He got that big thing. You ever drive past like I don't know, like a furniture store that's got liquidation going? They got a dude standing out with a sign. I'm like, why do they still do that? Have you ever seen a sign be like, yo, let me go see if I can buy a couch? Like, no, that's some random dude out here drinking coffee with a big ass cardboard sign. I'm not gonna pull over while I'm taking the kids to church. Like, hold on, we're gonna make it stop real quick.
Because they're never in convenient spots. Like they're never just like chilling there. Like when you get off of work, and might just happen to be like, you know what, maybe I'll just knock this out real quick while I get to my parking spot. Like they're on the side of a highway. Like I mean, you come up on a hill and a motherfucker, you might just hit them on the side of the road. But like, what the fuck?
You ever see a dude who's like really doing that job? Like he's walking up, showing off his butt, like, hey man, we doing the sale. Like, you're not even part of the company, fam. They paid you out of pocket. Like you're under the table. Like, you don't get a W-2 from this liquidator. Like, get out of here. Sell me this couch. You don't even look like you got furniture. I'm sorry. That's a tangent. Episode 2 of 2, I got upset. Dude walked up to my car, man. I didn't know if he's like, you know what I mean? Like, he looked homeless. I was like, should I give him $1? But that's not what he's soliciting. Like,
yeah. No, I mean, I just feel like they should, I don't know, at least get a safer space. Just stop, get off the side of the road, man. Them fuckers.
Put that fucking old ass cardboard away.
This Catherine is insane. Like, and it's nice because it like, sits and you get a bit more.
Right.
I mean, as it like kind of, I don't know, like the flavors and like the whole feel of it, like develops as you're drinking it. It's an amazing experience.
Right. Yeah, I think it gets better as it warms up too.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. I think most beers do though.
You do?
Yeah.
You think they get better as they warm? What's the science behind that?
I mean, I don't know the science, to be honest with you.
I
But
thought it was gonna be...
no, I think just the flavors come out and you get different flavors and different mouthfeels as it warms up too.
Mouthfeels. You are the first guest to use that term. That is Dave's favorite term.
Well, we were talking to
Why am I not surprised?
I don't know how you should feel about that.
Read.
Edit.
Jeff was talking about how like the perfect temperature for a beer, like for at least the beers that he was brewing was like, like was like 50 degrees or something like that. I mean, like, and I've noticed that with good beers, I mean, like, the bullshit Pilsner or whatever. Like, I'm not trying to let that get warm and see how, like, you know, that opens up. You know what I mean? Like, but a well-crafted beer is nice to, like, you know, drink it and let it sit. And, like, from the top to the bottom, it's a different experience. You know what I mean? Like, and, you know, that's a well-crafted beer. And like you said, that warming is what gives you that, you know?
Yep. Yeah, I agree 100%. So, you know, even hoppy beers, you know, you try them colder and then let them warm up, and, you know, it feels like the hop profile changes as it warms up, you know, just like this. It you know, it gets more of a heavier body as it warms up.
I'm gonna start drinking my beers warm.
Yeah, I mean, like,
well, not like room temperature. I ain't saying that, but
well, I mean, they serve them elsewhere. Like, I mean, like I've had. I mean, and even with the cask, is it is that what it is? The cask ale, or
yeah, it's called like
at the, you know, those events, the Firkins or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? Like one of them dips. They're kind of like room temperature. You know what I mean? But they're really good, and they're like not carbonated, like heavily carbonated and whatnot. It's a different experience. But if it's well, you know, brewed, then, you know, it still holds up.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of cask beers, so it's a whole different kind of profile. Lower carbonation, like you said, you know, a little, you know, not room temperature, but they call it cellar temperature. And
cellar temperature, okay.
It's
like the temperature in this room.
We are definitely in a cold room.
As we're all here with our earmuffs and hats on and scarves.
Well, this is a perfect stout.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Drinking this stout.
This is like, I mean, because once I started, because, you know, I think that is the my favorite thing about this. My whole core got warm. Yeah. I mean, in Russia, I'd imagine this is the type of shit that they want. That's what the kings and queens are.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like I got a bear skin. I got a bear skin pea coat on right now, like perfectly tailored.
Yeah,
you got an eye on each shoulder. Like, it's just dope.
Truth.
So, like, what was the transition from going to home brewing to having a brewery? Like, as far as scale, did you have to adjust your process, or?
Yeah, I mean, it was a huge learning curve. So, you know, I was gracious enough that a couple of the other local breweries kind of helped me out as well. You know, Full Pint and All Saints in Greensburg. They both of the owners there were just awesome. You know, kind of brought me in, kind of, you know, helped me out immensely. And, you know, still to this day, we still talk to them, and I go back and forth with them, you know, for ideas or questions or just whatnot, you know. And I think that's pretty much how the whole brewing community is. You know, everybody's willing to help each other out, because it's not, you know, we're not working against each other. We're working together, trying to educate people and show them what beer should really be about.
That's what I found out, that I found fascinating as an outsider, not a brewer, but an illustrator just drinking beer, and got to visit a lot of these breweries, is that they all work so well together. It's like one big family. It's like, you know, if I were to illustrate it, I would draw everybody holding hands. They all help each other. It's quite amazing. It
that's
really
a common theme that we get, and we have gotten, and we've experienced ourselves in the brewing industry. I mean, like, we're like, you know, like cousins, distant cousins.
I'm a stepson.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're a little closer.
Like the mama don't like me because that means daddy was with somebody else. But she know once I get to a certain
in a
age,
whole different direction. We were good.
We ain't got the same
a moment ago.
It was through, but
you know what I mean? Like, but someday she know I'm gonna have to cut the grass. She's just looking forward to using me.
But the whole community is really tight, and it's wonderful to see that. It really is.
Nah, yeah, we always say that. Like, it's been a blessing to just work with the industry. Like, they always show
and
love.
Relaxed people, right? That's the other thing too. It's like you find the brewers, the brewers who own the breweries, they tend to be very relaxed. They're just doing what they love to do, and it's awesome watching. There's so many dreams that are coming true.
Well, it's an industry that
Nice ringtone day.
The people who own the companies, and we're not gonna. I was gonna let it slide, but since you brought it up, what the fuck?
2-2. Shout out Pittsburgh Normal.
But what I was going to say was, it's an industry where the people who own the businesses actually use the product. You know what I mean? Like they're invested in the product. Like you go to some of these restaurants, they don't eat the shit from their restaurants. It's just a restaurant that they own. So I think that helps the industry a lot, in my opinion. Like everything, like it seems so focused on quality. It has initiatives like people focusing on local, like it's genuine, like it's trying to bring something to the table.
Absolutely, these are families. These are families that rely on the income of this beer, with local product, local ingredients, and that's really important. And people feel that, and I think that's why it's one of the things that is supporting craft breweries right now, and what's going to continue supporting craft breweries, because ultimately people want that. I certainly would rather, if I'm going to spend $5-6 in a beer, I know exactly, and you become more conscious of that, I think, as you get older, like I want to put it to where's this going, and local craft breweries are all about that. And you can see it at Four Seasons. You walk in there on a Friday or Saturday night, even Thursday, and it's like, this place is busy with locals all the time. It's fascinating, and that's not any different than a lot of the other breweries. It's fascinating. I don't think that's going to stop. There may be a time at some point where there's not enough room for another brewery, or but right now it's I think they're all in pretty good shape.
What is your favorite form of potato?
What?
I think I like those cheesy fries at, where do you get those at?
Like French fries?
No. Don't get this wrong. Hey, this is important. You asked the question. Okay. This is, I think this is at either King's or Eaton Park. You get those cheesy fries. They're like grated fries, and they've got cheese in them. They must be a heart attack.
Like a hash brown type, like a hash,
right.
like a...
exactly. Yeah.
Oh, the shredded
like
potato.
A thick oatmeal.
An oatmeal? There's a potato oatmeal.
Every
but it's like
it goes from good and bad.
Yeah,
that sounds dope.
It's got the consistency of oatmeal. Yeah, I could eat that stuff.
So there's a potato oatmeal cheesy.
It's not
oatmeal. Sounds like
Dave, take the oatmeal out of it. It's not
oatmeal.
It's
not oatmeal. Okay, yeah,
it's just grated like
so
it's really fine chunks. But, yeah,
I need to.
Why do you ask me that question?
Well, everybody has it though. Everybody eats potatoes. Everybody has a favorite.
Yeah. Let's have that next beer.
What is?
Oh, is potatoes? Is that a subject? Is that a taboo subject?
No.
Ask me about my fucking favorite potato. Al Groton over here, bitch. Al Groton. AG walking over here.
What's your favorite form of potato, Mark?
Tater tots.
I love tater tots. I am a tater tot.
You put spice on them.
Oh, a nice like a seasoned tater tot, man. I don't know what it is about it.
God, I'm sorry, I didn't say that.
It like explodes with goodness, and it's the texture of it and whatnot. Like, I mean, it's
like a hash brown rolled up.
What the fuck type of tater tots? Your tater tots explode with goodness.
They are. They're like tiny packed nuggets.
Well, first of all, pause what I said, but like, I don't know. Maybe I've not had I'm gonna leave that alone. But maybe I haven't had the right tater tots. Like, explode with good. They just look like an excuse. Like somebody has some leftover shit and was like, "What I'm gonna do with this?"
Mash these together.
Like, what shape is that? What is? It's like a rolled up gym mat. I don't know what it is, man. The fuck is a tater tot?
Barrels.
What do they make them like an ice tray, like tater tot trays, like ice tray? They just fry them in a tray and bring them. Like, how do they do that?
Yeah, there's got to be like little like tater tot trays that they like I don't know, but they do it and it's fucking delicious, man.
All right, well, what do we have here? Hopefully not the tater tot of beer.
So this is a barrel aged Belgian triple, and then has some Brettanomyces in it, which kind of gives it a little bit of funk on the back end.
When no funk hits the fan.
I was just literally last night drinking. It was Weyerbacher was the Tango Unchained or whatever, and they have like the Britannomyces or whatever in that bitch. It was a sour, but like it had like that funky kind of, that little foot to it. You know?
Delicious.
Yeah, what's the ABV on this?
So this one's right around 8.5%.
Yeah.
This one was probably aged in barrels for about, I'm guessing about 10 months too, right around there.
What kind of barrels were they in?
So they were bourbon barrels, but they were second use. So they were like, say, for instance, I'd do Catherine in a barrel, I'd empty it, and then I'd put the triple into that barrel and let it age again.
So like
Kinda
it's not
reuse
as as potent. So you get
you don't get as much bourbon, but maybe like smoke out of it.
Yeah, I mean with a Belgian, like you don't really want to just over because it's so easy to like, I call it the chicken of beers. I don't know but like it's just because of the flavor profile, like you can impart what you want onto it, and it'll come through. I don't know. Does that make any sense?
No, I agree with you for sure.
All right, well, y'all got it. It's the chicken and beers. Belgian, the chicken and beers.
It could be barrels, it could be fruit. You know what I mean? It could be spices. Like you could throw whatever you in. It'll like just take that on and just make it sweet. You know what I mean? And have that. Was that wheat?
In this one? No, there's no wheat in it at all. So it's just, it's a Belgian triple. I mean, there's some Belgian candy syrup in there that I get and put into it. So.
Candi.
Belgian candy syrup.
Yeah.
Man, you pour that on, you bring one over and pour it on their pancakes. So yeah. This that BCS. What's that Belgian candy syrup? I don't know. Go ahead.
It's kind of like
it's scissor.
It's
Have it in the baby bottles.
Yeah, just a little.
I want that Belgian candy, baby.
Throw some gummy bears in it. Throw some gummy bears in
it.
it.
Pacifier clip to your shirt. That Belgian candy.
Is it like a candied like mold or some sort or whatever?
No, it's it's like sugar, so it's like syrup consistency, but it's pretty much it's sugar pretty much.
Yeah,
like liquid sugar.
Oh man, it's delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really. What is a tripel?
So, there's a couple different classifications of Belgian style beer. I mean, there's tons of them, but there's a double, which is say lower ABV. The triple is kind of the next step up. It has a little more of that candy sugar in it, and then there's a Belgian quad as well, which has the dark candy sugar in it. Then that kind of gives it the brown hue to it.
So the more sugar a beer has in it,
well,
higher
no, it's not. It's not the sugar necessarily. It's just different types of sugar that you're using in the beer. So
because I was going to say there's especially with the barley wines or whatever, it gets sweeter. I've noticed, the higher ABV in various beers or whatever, it tends to be a bit sweeter, and then some of them, it gets too much, and there's always that struggle with the balance of where you want that ABV, but you don't want to just be drinking syrup,
Right.
Yeah, and that all comes from say the type of yeast used, the type of grains used in the mash. I mean, there's several factors that go into that. Say if it's sweet or not, but that's part of the game is trying to make a balanced beer, so trying to figure that out where you need to use this yeast or do this or use these kind of ingredients, and that's the hard part.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, when I asked you, you were oh, man, once you know how to brew beer, you just brew it. There's got to be levels to this because I could taste it. This is very well crafted.
Do you think there's a perfect beer? Like a beer that exists as that's the perfect beer?
Yeah, what is your favorite, outside of your own beer? If you were having a last,
Can they order craft with their last meal on death row?
Shit, man, it depends on where
I
they
don't
at.
see why you would have restrictions on what they order.
Man,
as long as they don't order heroin, they're good.
Yeah.
Give them whatever.
Yeah.
Motherfucker want a shot of Hennessy, give him a shot of Hennessy. He's about to die. It's okay.
You know what? With that said, though, I think people's tastes are evolving, and it has to do with different beers coming out. So, the flavor profiles of beer are changing. So what people were all about 4 years ago, they're not about now. There's something new. So, I think that's a evolving process.
Yeah, but what is maybe even your favorite style of beer? But what beer do you like? Just is your
what's your MJ of beer?
Like
one that you not hearing no arguments against.
Yeah, your fave. Like
it's probably hard to pin down. Because
what
that's
I was
why
gonna
he's
say,
a brewer is because
Yeah.
he's, he enjoys it all.
Yeah, I enjoy it all, but I'd say probably Sierra Nevada Pale Ales. Say my go-to. It's just I can't go wrong.
Yeah.
So I take it Brewer doesn't have one. MB.
I really like stouts and porters. I love IPAs, but there's something about this time of year where I haven't had an IPA since tonight was the first time in probably, I don't know, maybe a while. And I'll drink stouts and porters. And then as soon as the spring comes, I'm out. I'm drinking IPAs.
Yeah.
So I give myself about maybe 30 days to drink pumpkin beers on and off and figure out, what I like there. And
I don't drink more than one pumpkin.
I knew a rant
week.
was about to come.
Yeah.
That's max. That's even going.
Mark's
this last
Mark's
year, I
is
may
really
have had
good.
only
Dark
two.
Side of the Pumpkin. It's not overdone. You can keep drinking. There's a lot of beers, particular really popular beer that started the whole pumpkin thing off, and I think it's wonderful. But I don't really. 10 ounces is probably good for me. You can hit his again and again and again. It's it's a balance. If something's too sweet, sometimes it turns people off. It's too bitter.
But there's a market for people that can pound that. That's not my particular or whatever.
Either.
Just like like bourbon. Like barrels. Like I'll pound those. But that's not everybody's flavors.
You're
so,
right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think Four Seasons does a great job at not going over the top with their flavors on beer, keeping it, not restrained, but just not going completely, you come out with a pumpkin beer and all you taste is, whipped cream, pumpkin,
everything,
spice, and
everything here has been very well balanced.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like, overly bitter or sweet or, you can go so many different ways with, this variety as well. It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
You've been on an adventure.
Yeah.
Is that a focus though for you, Pablo? To where you're like, all right, I don't, because I feel like people can get carried away with flavor, just trying to make as unique a beer as possible. Whereas you're like, yo, I'm gonna make really good beer. It seems like the taste is going to match its description, but it's gonna be a really good beer. It's not gonna be like OD with the all right. I'm
trying to be gimmicky.
I definitely do. I'm not opposed to unique or trying something new by any means, but I think I try and focus on just balance. No matter what I'm using in the beer, how crazy it is, I think it still needs to be balanced. At the end of the day, because that's what people want, and that's it just drinks better.
That'll sustain. I feel like the crazy over the top flavors is gonna have to go away at some point.
It will. I think that's a whole nation thing. I think when people overseas, outside of this country, think of the United States, they were over the top on everything.
Yeah,
it's like we take everything to the nth degree, and then we bring it back.
Yeah.
We should really just look at some of the Europeans because they've done this already and learn from that.
Well, I
think we have to go through that.
You're starting to see that in the industry a bit, people going into the books and finding old recipes and kind of trying to mimic those styles and build upon those or whatever. Because even the Belgians and there's so many different varieties of beer. It's so nuanced that I forgot what the fuck I was saying.
It's like a steep deterioration. They takes you to this high, you nuance,
and then he jumps off and leaves us all up there.
He said nuance. You're like, oh, he about to say something profound. He's like, yeah, dude, yeah. Fuck it. Damn it. Because now I don't know how to play off of that now.
But what you're saying, with the cycles or whatever, you're gonna hit those. The same thing with fashion. you're going to hit these extremes. People are going to get tired of wearing it. But then like 20 years from now, they'll be like, oh, remember when we did, you know what I mean, these dips or whatever, and they'll come back.
come
You know,
back.
it'll cycle around, you know,
Absolutely.
like just like everything else in life, you know. It's
on.
what was it? Time is a circle, or whatever the fuck, a flat circle. Y'all don't watch TV.
That's kind of true.
Yeah, we established that earlier.
Kind of don't watch TV.
Right.
It's terrible. So what's next for Four Seasons? Do y'all play Boys to Men, Four Seasons of Loneliness in the brewery? Like, do y'all play that song? Here comes the winter and that just freezing, it's the snow.
Not yet, but maybe.
Maybe if
You
you
gotta
come
get on
out.
the jukebox, man.
That song like immediately makes me sad. I don't even know what it's about. It's like, damn, they broke up. That's terrible. I feel for that. But no, what's next for Four Seasons? Seal breaker is a deal breaker.
So we're just trying to make it through the holidays right now. We've pumping out a whole bunch of seasonal beers, and then as far as next year, hopefully our goal, just as any other breweries, try to expand, get some more tanks, and just keep pumping out quality beer. And it's as far as beers go, it's kind of hard to come up with a new idea sometimes, for a beer. So, I mean, like I said, I look for inspiration all over the place, whether people coming in, customers, reading magazines, things like that. But it's, the next one in the work is trying to get out soon is a cranberry lager.
Cranberry lager.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had
So
I don't know if I've had a flavored lager, but like
So-
UFO makes one.
ladies,
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought cranberry juice they gave to little kids so they stopped peeing on themselves. is that a real thing? Like, am I the only one?
No, I think
auntie gave you
it
cranberry juice?
helps you pee.
Oh, well, the lager, yeah, like cranberry juice stops you from peeing, but if you do it in a lager, you might pee yourself. But hey, you get home, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
That's what's up,
So,
man. Like,
but just kind of trying to come up with things like that.
So, how do you generally? How do you come up with ideas for flavor? I know sometimes you'll see you want to mimic a style, or you see something that you want to tweak. But like, where did the bravo or aha moments come from? Like, is it just you eating something? Or?
Like that one was kind of based on seasonal. So like cranberries are Thanksgiving, Christmas-ish. Trying to get a play in on
Do they
that.
do Thanksgiving beers? No, I think Thanksgiving's like a big holiday that don't get the love that all the other holidays get. It's
Fuck
not
Thanksgiving.
Listen, man. Damn its meaning. I'm talking about
Fuck
all
Thanksgiving,
them
though.
all them
Yeah, all that
ham
shit,
and
yeah.
turkey
All that,
and
fuck all that shit.
college that I used to get from my grandma aunties. That's big for me.
Motherfuckers.
You gonna say fuck my grandmas and aunties?
No,
and
not
shit,
your
though?
grandma. Your grandmas and aunties ain't fake Thanksgiving, man. Yeah, no. But yeah, no, fuck Thanksgiving. But no, your grandmas and aunties. I do. That's what I mean. I think like, I like we should refocus that. You know what I mean? On the because that's what I look at it like. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, is like the focus on family is kind of one of, because like life happens. You know what I mean? Like, and you're doing your thing, and like, a year will pass, and these are the moments where we like collectively say, hey man, chill out, take stock in like what, what's worthwhile, and like, so that you can, recharge your batteries. I mean, I think that it is socially acceptable to drink on a daily basis between like motherfucking Thanksgiving and New Year's. I mean, there's fairly big.
Just between Thanksgiving, I have
I
a
think
problem,
it's
man.
I think it's perfectly normal to have a drink whenever the fuck you need to have a drink.
January 1st to December 31st.
Yeah, that's the cycle I'm on.
Now, when I say a drink, I'm saying a drink. I'm not out here saying go get fucked up.
Yeah.
But am I totally opposed to a guy who works at McDonald's taking a second to take a shot? Like, you take a shot, bro. Like, you've been taking hits all day. Go ahead, take a shot.
Just don't mess up my order.
Yeah, hey, don't take several shots.
Just put the ranch in the bag.
Yeah,
That's
just
all
make sure
I need
got
you to
all-
do,
Give
man.
me the sauce. You feel me? Stop. Like, I didn't order nuggets with no sauce. Like, how do you forget that?
You get back to the office like,
Yeah, come on,
man. These dry ass fries.
Or the fries.
Fuck up your whole shit. You
You
be in your desk and shit, trying to see if you got any leftover packets somewhere. Like,
I hate the motherfuckers that like pretty up the fry box, but they really playing you. Like, take the fries out the bag and shake them immediately, like, right at the window, so we both see. Like, nah, you gave me 7 fries. Come on. Why you stingy with the fries? You just opened the bag. You didn't put no investment into this. You didn't order the shipment. You just opened the bag. Give me as many fries as you think I would want. Like, yo, you got a chicken sandwich. I'm going to give him mad fries. He might still be hungry. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Oh, no, man. I worked in fast food, man. I cooked everybody up on fries. You got the beefy dips. You came through, you got the beefy dips. Nigga, they potatoes. Like, why we being stingy with potatoes out here, man? Like, fuck that shit.
I don't even know how we got here.
I forgot.
I don't either, man.
Were we talking about service? And
I came back downstairs and guess what talking to y'all again.
Well, yeah, I know we were talking about influence and shit like that or something, and then we got on doing fast food.
Potatoes again.
We were talking fucking potatoes.
Right.
Potatoes is well-rounded, man. They got potato vodka that gets you fucked up. Yeah. They should put that on Wendy's fries.
The late night dips.
Yeah. If I'm eating Wendy's for dinner, something ain't right. Give me the
Truth.
So, where can we find you? Because we got to Day's got to work some more.
I gotta do.
We got Showdown at Club Cafe, so that's big. So, where can where can the people find you? I'll find the brewery, find your artwork.
Yeah, so our address is 745 Lloyd Ave in Latrobe, PA. It's 15650. So we're probably about a mile off Route 30. So if you follow Route 30 the whole way down, hang a left at the airport. You know, we're right there, so not too hard to find. But
you in the brewery? I'm in there cooking it up.
Where can they find you online?
Yeah, so our website's fsbrewing.com, and you can get all of our social media links on there, and we have a tap list, band list, all that on there.
Nice.
Yeah, and then you can find some of the art that I've done for Four Seasons. I offer on my shop. You can find that at markbrewer.com, markbrewer.com, and you can purchase my book. And like I said, some of this art and some other things that I've done. I've got a print of Tom Petty right now that's for sale, and it's doing pretty well. So you can go there to purchase that.
You know what I mean? Day, where can the people find us?
If you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspot. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, and Google Play under Drinking Partners. You can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at Partnerspot.
Hey, we want to thank Mark Pavlik and Mark Brewer from Four Seasons coming through, sharing some really good brews, some knowledge on us.
Excellent. Shout out to the Black Cats.
Shout out to the Black Cats. I don't even know what I just said, but it happened. Hey, as always, Drinking Partners is the crew. Epicast is the family. And we out here.
She edits or she does the writing for a part. She listens to all of them and does the writing or whatever. She's a novelist. Brownie points.
I'm not mad at it. Respect the forethought.
Ahead of the game.
Truth,
You know, we pushing this episode. Hey, babe, we got that Four Seasons episode. Why don't you listen to it? Now listen to it. Go ahead.
Epicast.